Looks like someone's ghosts of tricks past have come back to haunt this Halloween. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Hi guys,
Lauren Daisy.
welcome back to my channel, and today I thought it'd be kind of fun. We're gonna sit and we're gonna do my makeup, but I'm actually gonna use, since this is a Bratz video, I'm gonna use the Bratz Revolution one. So I have the Jade palette. While I talk about, honestly, what I think may be the closest we will ever get. Well, maybe. The closest we've gotten so far to a Bratz horror movie, which is Bratz Go to Paris, or maybe it's just called Bratz Paris. Either way, I remember seeing this when I was, oh my god, I couldn't even tell you, maybe like 7 years old or something, maybe like 6 or 7, and I thought this shit was the creepiest stuff I'd ever seen in my entire life. I hadn't seen it for a couple years, so I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch it and see if it's still as creepy as I thought it was. It wasn't as creepy, but it's still a pretty crazy concept, so we're going to talk about it today. If you haven't seen it before, you can just watch it on YouTube. I definitely recommend. Bratz Paris is, I think, technically listed as a Bratz movie, and they did release a DVD of it, but I just consider it to be kind of part of the Bratz TV series, because that's how it was initially released. They've done this a couple times with the Bratz TV show, where they release like 2 or 3 episodes that have a continuous story, as opposed to like the rest of the series where you could kind of watch any episode and it wouldn't matter. At the very beginning, we get a flashback, which I always love the flashbacks. I think they're so cute. Yes, the Bratz babies are odd. Okay, they're a little bit weird, they're a little bit kooky.
You guys so rock!
But it's kind of the Bratz vibe, do you know what I mean? Should babies be wearing makeup? Absolutely not. And they look a little bit creepy. But you know what? It's all part of the nostalgia, you know, it's all part of the childhood. So yeah, we basically get to see a flashback of when they met Yasmin for the first time, and they give her the nickname Pretty Princess, so that's pretty cute. We get to see like their friendship group kind of forming for the first time. And then when we cut back to the present day, it's the 15-year anniversary of them all becoming friends. So anyway, they're talking about what they're gonna do for their 15-year anniversary when Byron calls Yasmin. Now, Byron, I cannot stand this man, okay? I cannot stand him. He is, so full name, Byron Powell. He is an obvious, you know, kind of parody of Simon Cowell. So when we met Byron, it was in Bratz Rock Angel. He's running around and he's being chased by these classic Bratz henchmen. If you watch any of the Bratz TV show, then you'll know that it is the same like 2 guys pretty much all the time. If anyone's getting kidnapped, if anyone's like getting chased, anything like that, bodyguards, bouncers, like these 2 character molds, it's always these 2 like guys, and they never have names. But anyway, it's the first time that the Bratz girls realize that he is actually a secret spy. Yeah, Byron is so annoying. Like, me and this man actually have beef. Like, he is so irritating, but I don't know if he's supposed to be irritating or not. He's always meant to be helping them out, but he's like the fucking worst. Byron comes to the girls and he's like, look, for some reason this man is part of like whatever secret service he's a part of. I wonder if because he's British he's like supposed to be part of MI5 or some shit, I don't know. He doesn't have any other spies. It's so bizarre. On this secret mission, but he needs the Bratz to like help him catch this person that's been poisoning models, right? So that's the gist. He goes to the Bratz and he says that Jean-Paul, who is a fashion designer from Paris, is trying to put on this fashion show, but his lead models and like the face of his company keep being poisoned. Byron needs the Bratz, because of course he does, icons, to go undercover as models and figure out who it is that's poisoning these models, so that they can find an antidote and obviously get this person into jail.
We're going undercover as supermodels. That's hot!
This is where it gets like creepy as, right? What this poison does is it rapidly ages your bones Like, who even thought of this shit? So all of the models now look like are like 100 years old. Like, they don't just look 100 years old, their bones are fucked. Their bones are all like brittle and their skin is wrinkled and everything, and they are literally 100 years old. So Byron's like, we gotta get to the bottom of this shit, get your spy boots on. Also, while all of this is happening and Byron's like explaining this whole plan, this whole mischievous little get together, the Tweevils are also listening in, because of course they are. Go to Berdine and they're like, Byron's taking the Bratz to Paris. He's actually a secret agent. So Berdine is like, this is good shit, this is good shit. So we need to go. She says, I'm gonna send, like, we're gonna go to Paris. I'm gonna train you two to be spies, because Berdine used to be, she used to be part of the fashion police, okay? And we're gonna get the scoop and the story before Byron, which honestly, queen shit, because the way that Berdine like the distaste that Berdine has for Byron, I feel that shit. I feel that shit hardcore.
The real travesty here is that insufferable Byron Powell actually has another job if his TV show gets canceled. Oh, life is so unfair.
And yeah, she basically is going to send the Tweevils out there to get the story, and then Berdine can take credit before the Bratz can, and can like put it in Your Thing magazine and all that stuff.
Hello? Tightwad travel?
Byron says, he's like, look, the only catch is that I can only take 2 of you.
Only 2 of us? Me!
The girls are all fighting over who gets to go. Jade thinks she should go because she knows all about Jean-Paul and the people he has around him. Sasha thinks that she should go because she knows people on the inside, right, in the Paris fashion world. Chloe thinks that she should go because she can speak French, well, she's taking French, and that she's got really good people skills and, you know, can talk to people and whatever. And Yasmin is like, I need to go because I'm the reason we even know Byron. Because if you remember in Bratz Rock Angels, Yasmin finds Byron's lost dog and that's how they like meet him and whatever. So she's like, because I'm the reason we even know Byron, I should get to go. There's a couple B plots running alongside this. The first of which is that Yasmin has writer's block, but she needs to write an essay or a story or something for this like competition she's entering. So she's like, I have writer's block, Paris is the perfect place to get rid of my writer's block, and I am the reason we know Byron, so I should go. It's flimsy. I think based on those like arguments alone, I would probably take Jade and Sasha. They have to do this like spy training course, and whoever does the best gets the most points. Those 2 can go. A little montage, I bloody love a montage, them all training and doing their spy thing. And the Bratz songs, by the way, are a bop. I think I'm gonna do a video ranking them or just going through them and talking about them, because they are 10 out of 10. Yasmin kind of admits, she's like, I always feel left out. And we get a flashback to back when they were babies again, and they're riding on their little motorbikes, which, how freaking adorable, little baby motorbikes. Highly dangerous, but you know, it's fine. She falls off of her bike on this like dirt road thing, and the Bratz don't come back for her. I think they just don't realize that she's fallen. So they drive away, and then the Tweevils like run up to her and they mock her, and they're like, you know, basically say the Bratz will never like you as much as they like each other. So anyway, keep that in mind. They kind of agree, okay, we're gonna work at this like as a team, but they're also kind of in it for themselves. Like, I think Yasmin, no, I think Jade like makes herself like a protein shake. Chloe has this like high carb muffin or some shit. Like, she's like, it's a high carb snack and it's literally just a muffin. So then Byron's like, right, it's time for the spy test. And while like this little montage is happening, we also get a hilarious montage of the Tweevils trying to train to be spies, and it's just ridiculous. And the last thing that the girls have to do is a motorbike race. Okay, remember the flashback? Yeah. So they have to do this motorbike race on the same track. Also, every single girl is serving a look truly through and through. Everyone looks just, it's just, there are no words. I wanted to give a specific shout out to Chloe's like checkerboard lipstick. Yasmin again falls off of her bike, but this time the girls realize that she's fallen off and they go back to help her, and Byron's like, where are you going? You know, you're not gonna finish the race. And they're all like, Yasmin's way more important than this race. and they go and help her out. They have a little huddle, a little team meeting, and they tell Byron, they're like, look, if all of us can't go, then none of us are gonna go. Which, like, I get it, you know, you don't want competition between the gals, and you want to keep the peace, you know, besties forever. But also, this man needs your help to like stop a full-on like poisoning. Like, it's not just like, oh, who wants to come to Paris? It's like he literally needs help hunting down a criminal, and they're like, no, we won't help unless we can all go. And Byron reveals that the whole thing was a test. So it was never really about who did the best. It was about teamwork, and if they would stick together and, you know, stand up for each other. Because they went back to help Yasmin, they proved that they could work together as a team, and therefore all 4 of them get to go. They're on the plane and they bring Cameron and Dylan. I just love Cameron and Dylan. I think they're so jokes. This is also a side note, but Chloe's my gal. And I just relate to her like anxious drama queen moments so very much.
I'm too young to be old. Cool accessories do not include canes and walkers.
So Byron meets them in their room and shows them all this cool spy stuff, which when I was a kid, I literally wanted so badly. They've got like concealer where you can leave an invisible message. They've got lipsticks that are actually like transmitters. They've got like a compact mirror that's like a homing device or something, or a tracker. Like, it's cool shit. And he gives them these special boots that are like rocket boots. They're like jetpack boots. I always find it funny as well, because if you do watch the show, then you just constantly see characters being reused, because Jean-Paul is, in the show, he's this like dodgy guy. I think he makes like cat beds or something. And then at the end of the episode, he tries to turn Bardeen and Jade into dog meat. But anyway, so that's who this Jean-Paul guy is. And he's weird, man. He's a weird guy. No one ever says that he's a weird guy, but like, he is a weird guy. And he becomes like obsessed with Jade as soon as he meets her. And he's like, she's my muse.
Magnifique! Mwah! Superb! Perhaps my life is not yet completely over. Pierre, cancel my will. My cats will have to wait.
We meet this model called Nicole, and she's next in line, I think it is, to be Jean-Paul's like $1 million face. So he has one like lead girl who becomes the face of his like company. We also meet Elamina, who is basically Bardeen's twin, but she's got red hair. And we find out that they were actually in the fashion police together, and they're arch nemesis, like big time. She's like a modeling agent now, and she's like giving all the girls their card and stuff. And Bardeen, when she sees her, is like, oh my god, they like hate each other. And we see this flashback of them in the fashion police together, and Bardeen gets distracted by pink shoes, and Elamina gets like kidnapped by the classic henchman. And she's like, oh, I could have died because of you. And Bardeen's basically like, get over it. And honestly, it was a little bit rough. Like, it's a little bit scary. Like, when like she got taken by these men and she was like screaming after Bardeen, I was like, fucking hell.
Help me, Bardeen! Help me! Ah! Help! Help!
Our second B plot is that Nicole is flirting with Cameron, and Chloe's getting really jealous. Maybe I'll make a video one day on the history of like Chloe and Cameron, but Chloe and Cameron are probably the most established Bratz couple. They never officially become a couple, but they have loads of like cute moments. I love, because I love any kind of Chloe and Cameron content. Also, not to mention, while they're at this party, right, the girls are giving what they're supposed to give. The looks, the dresses, the makeup, the hair, everything looks so good. So now in your third B plot, Sasha has a crush on this guy called Cruz, who we find out from Roxy. If you remember Roxy from Rock Angels, she was in a band called Crash, I think it is. and Cruz was also in Crash. And so Sasha has this crush on him, and he, like, they go out like walking and stuff, and he asks her out on a date, and it's so freaking cute. It's a shame because I'm pretty sure this is the only time we ever see him, but he's like so cute. Like, he and Sasha make such a cute couple. I wish they'd like brought him back. Yeah, so Casey that's the one with the like nose plaster. She is in the bathroom, and then I don't even know what to call them. The like poisoner, the criminal, whatever. Right, they're about to do the poisoning, and they realize that Casey is in there, and they like push her into the toilet. And then meanwhile this is happening, Jade hears Jean-Paul arguing with Elamina in like his room or wherever they are. So she starts to get a bit suspicious of her. And then Nicole and Cameron like go on a date. Chloe sees this picture of them, and you know, Cameron bought her flowers and everything like that. So that's just boiling over in the corner.
Reality check. I am so not ready for this.
Jade manages to, I guess her kind of B plot is her whole thing with Jean-Paul, like being his muse and helping him get through his designer's block. So he's like, right, I'm gonna go on with the show. But then we find out that his top model, Monique, has been poisoned. So she's all old now. Jade kind of asks, she's like, could it be Elamina? I heard you guys arguing. And Jean-Paul's like, no. She can be a bit of a cow sometimes, but I don't think she would poison anybody. So then because of the poisoning, Cruz shows up. He's like in the lobby of the hotel, and he's got roses. And Sasha has to call and be like, oh, I can't come anymore, but she can't say why because obviously it's a secret mission. So Cruz just thinks that she's like standing him up, and he's like really annoyed and kind of breaks things off with her, which is really sad. So then Jean-Paul says, he's like, look, I've got to cancel this fashion show, like can't have anyone else getting old around me, which honestly is the right thing to do. If every model in your show is being poisoned like one by one, you would just be like, this isn't worth it. We're just gonna like stop the fashion show. But obviously they need the fashion show to keep going, so that they can figure out who it is. So Jade convinces him to keep the fashion show going. And then again, it's so upsetting. Sasha is like, she's just chilling, and the Tweebles come up to her, and they have this magazine that has a picture of Cruz with Alonce, who is Beyonce, Shakira, kind of like a mix of the two. They're dating now, and Sasha's like heartbroken. It's so sad. Has a bit of a cry with all the girls, and then she's like, I'm going to bed. And they all go to bed except for Yasmin, who says like, I've still got my writer's block, you know, I need to get this competition entry submitted, so I'm just gonna go for a walk, maybe it'll give me a bit of inspiration. She's out, and then while she's out, the poisoner, I don't even know what to call them, comes in to the Bratz apartment to tamper with their water, and Yasmin catches them as she comes back in, and it turns into this whole like chase scene. Yasmin is absolutely slaying. She's like absolutely killing it, and is chasing them like over buildings and all this shit. Even like while they're fighting, they like slide down the roof, and Yasmin is like, oh, take my hand, you know, like trying to be nice, and the person like throws her off the roof or some shit. And then it's just a whole thing. It is a whole scene of dramatics. So anyway, they get away. Yasmin goes back to the room, and Jade is about to drink the water, and Yasmin's like, don't drink that.
I was afraid you'd been kidnapped and stuffed in a trunk, and that you'd be all cramped since the car's here. Jade, stop! Don't drink that! I think it's poisoned.
They test the bottle, and they find fingerprints from Elamina, as well as one of her hairs on the bottle. So they're like, case closed, and she gets arrested. They see on the news that Badine is talking about how she captured her, and they're all like, what the hell is going on? And they realize that their room has been bugged. It's got this like this huge pink bug like on a laptop, and they're like, oh, like the Tweebles bugged our room, and they've obviously broken the story, right? Also, Nigel from Rock Angels is the news reporter, but it's not him because like it doesn't sound anything like him. He doesn't have an accent, but I also thought that was funny. And later, Casey tells Yasmin and Jade, I think it is, about the, like, what happened to her in the bathroom. And they're like, what time was that? And she says around 10. And Jade's like, well, I heard Elamina and Jean-Paul arguing around 10, which means that it can't be Elamina. It just can't be, right? This one piece, it just can't be.
He pushed me into the toilet, so I had to dry myself off before I like went downstairs.
Back to the B, one of the B plots, Roxy asks Sasha like what happened with Cruz, and you know, she says that I'm not going to return any of his calls. I saw the picture of him and Alonce, and Roxy's like, look, like, what are you so scared of? Like, just talk to him. So then Yasmin goes to the prison and speaks to Elamina, and she goes to write something down, and Yasmin goes to Byron and the girls and is like, it's definitely not Elamina, she is left-handed, and the person that attacked me was definitely right-handed. And that, paired with the fact that Chloe and Byron went to her apartment, didn't find an antidote, didn't find anything, they're like, okay, maybe we do have the wrong person here.
Wait a minute, you're left-handed.
Is that a crime too?
But Byron's not buying it, because of course he's fucking not. Like, this guy, I tell ya, any excuse to be difficult, I tell ya. And yeah, so he doesn't believe it, right? So the girls, okay, we're gonna have to prove this shit on our own, as they always do. What would anyone do without the Bratz in this universe? I tell you, they solve everyone's problems. So then Jean-Paul asks Jade to be the new $1 million face of Jean-Paul Fashions, and she's obviously gassed, but it means that she's been asked over Nicole. Nicole rings Jade and is like, you know, you have to come down here, Jean-Paul's freaking out and he only wants to speak to you. So she like lures her into this, I think it's the attic of the fashion show.
Thanks.
Tricks her into drinking the water. She's like, oh, sit down, you know, and she's in this creepy ass room. I don't know how Jade like didn't clock earlier, because this room is so freaking creepy. It's the room that they always take people to when they're being kidnapped. It's the exact same place they took like the London Milton, I think she was called, when she was kidnapped in the TV show. And it is so freaking creepy. Even to this day, like as a kid, I found it so scary. But even now, like it's still creepy, like the way that she drinks the water and then all of her bones, like you can hear her bones starting to creak, and her skin like all wrinkles, and she can't really walk, she can't do anything, and her vision gets all blurry as well.
Oh, something wrong, old girl. And since I am the most beautiful, I deserve to be the $1 million face. I have Elamina pictured.
Framed?
Whatever.
And Nicole basically has her little villain, you know, origin story, and she says that she's always wanted to be the face, and she was basically eliminating the competition, and she framed Elamina and put her hair and her fingerprints on the bottle, and like she's gonna get away with it now that Jade, you know, is sick. Then she can be like, she can finally be the face of Jean-Paul Fashions. And she breaks Jade's phone and leaves her there and goes back downstairs, you know, and she says to them, oh, Jade isn't feeling that well, so she's gonna have to step out the fashion show. So obviously all the girls are like, what the fuck are you talking about? So then Chloe sneaks off, they're all like practicing, and Chloe sneaks off to go and find her, and is able to use the like mirror, I think it is, like tracking device to find her, goes up to the attic. But before she can save her, Nicole literally grabs her and shoves this, like starts pouring this water down her throat. It is mental. Even if not a horror film, this thing is at least a thriller. It is wild. So then the same thing starts happening to Chloe, like all her bones start going and everything, and her vision, and she can't really walk properly. Nicole, like Chloe was talking to Nicole about Cameron, and she like was saying, oh, it's always Chloe this, Chloe that, and saying that Cameron just talks about Chloe all the time. Freaking adorable. Adorable. So she basically taunts the girls and shows them that she does have an antidote, but obviously she's not going to give it to them. And she says that after the fashion show, right, she's going to take them up in a plane and throw them out. No joke, it's mental. It is wild. She's literally like, yeah, I'm going to take your old bodies and like throw you out of this plane to get rid of you.
After the show, we go to a secret hiding spot in Jean-Paul's forest and get on my private jet to see the south of France. From 30,000 feet. Too bad I don't have parachutes for you.
You know, she's like, oh, Jade has, you know, food poisoning. And I think she can tell, like, that Yasmin and Sasha are really buying it. And she's like, right, I have to get rid of these girls now. So Yasmin and Sasha managed to find the room that they were in, but they're already gone. And they've left this long ass message. I don't know like how they managed to leave this message, like in the state that they were in. It just makes absolutely no sense. But they've left this like whole freaking paragraph for Yasmin and Sasha to basically say like she's gonna kill us. And so they're like, oh shit. So Nicole puts both of them in their old bodies into this car and cuts the brakes and just like pushes it. So she's sending it towards this cliff. I tell you, it is mad. And Yasmin like runs after them, jumps into the car and grabs them both, and it's like, right, hold on. And they jump out of the car like as it's going over the cliff, and she uses her like rocket boots and, you know, flies and drops them off.
Guys, hang on to me! Cut your shoes!
While this is happening, Nicole and Sasha are like fighting in the woods, and then Byron comes and arrests Nicole, and justice is served. But like, it's absolutely mad. Like, of course now Byron fucking finally believes them. And then, you know, we cut to like the fashion show. Again, all the looks are just everything. Sasha with her kind of like reddish hair, the outfits, it's so good. And they have a moment, Sasha and Cruz have a moment, and he says that him and Alonso are just friends. And so they make up and they almost kiss, which I don't think we ever get a Bratz kiss. Unless I just can't remember it. I don't think we ever get a kiss. I think this is the closest thing that we have to a Bratz kiss. They then celebrate being friends for 15 years, just like in Chloe's bedroom, having like a little party, just them four. And that is it. That is the end of Bratz Paris. Is it not wild? Like, I just find it so mad that this was like a kid's thing. Like, it's so spooky when you watch it and their bones get all old and like it, and then she literally tries to murder them. It is intense. It is wild, but I absolutely love it. That is me having a little chit chat about Bratz Go to Paris. Did you watch this as a kid and also get freaked out by it, or watch it now and get freaked out by it? Let me know. If you haven't seen it, then it's definitely one to put on your spooky season bucket list, just for shits and gigs. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. Comment down below. Yeah, let me know if you've seen it, or just who your favorite Bratz girl is in general. I would love to know. That's one of my favorite things to ask people. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.